Well, now that the E36 is prepped to receive the new engine, it's time to finally dive in and start getting this thing prepped to go in the car. First thing I need to do is get the oil pan thrown on the bottom of this, get it sealed up, clean the oil pan with my parts washer so it's ready to go on. I need to just kind of wipe the block, prep it, throw the new gasket on, and bolt it up. Prep the block of the engine, basically the mating surface for the oil pan. In cleaning it up, I scraped through everything with a razor blade to kind of prep it. This was all actually leftover gasket material from the one when I pulled the pan off. So it's a good thing I went through it like that instead of just wiping it down and installing it. But now I can get to actually installing the pan. So something I always do when I'm putting oil pan gaskets on is once I get the gasket lined up and on the pan where it needs to go, I put a zip tie kind of on opposite corners. And it's not super tight, but it's enough that it holds the gasket in place. So when you go to lift it up and put it on the block, you can get a bolt in, get it started without the gaskets shifting all around and going everywhere. I'm actually not even going to completely put the pan on. I'm going to get the majority of the bolts on, but I have a new roommate seal for this. Can't put it on right now because it's on the engine stand. So when I get it off the stand to put it in the car, I'll do the rear seal then, and then finish up the back bolts on the pan. But for now, I'm just gonna throw it up like this. I do have a snapped bolt in the pan that I need to extract before I throw it up on the engine, so I'm gonna get to that now. Let's see if this comes out with just some vice grips. If not, give it some heat. All right, we'll try the heat approach. All right, I'll deal with that later. Well, let's get this oil pan up in place. Well, the block is officially ready for paint. So I'm going to use some YouTube magic on this part because watching paint dry is boring. So, just like that, it's painted. So I primed it, painted it with, I think this paint's good for up to like 2,000 degrees. So it's good enough. Looks much better than it did before. Not perfect, but you're really not going to see a lot of this. You'll see this side of the block more than anything, especially if I don't put power steering back on. But this side's going to be pretty hidden on its own. Now that it is painted, I can finally get to putting it back together. I'll probably start kind of system by system or work from the top down. I do have spark plugs, valve cover gasket, cooling system. I have all the accessories to put back on. All new gaskets for the intake manifold, PCV setup. So get that stuff on then and get this thing rolling.